Well, hello and welcome to another MeasureSchool live stream. My name is Julian, and today we have a special topic. Well, all of our channel topics are really about integration of analytics tools. And in order to do those, you sometimes need a lot of time, need a lot of help. And we try to make this easier for you, of course. And that's why today we want to show you and showcase a little bit of a tool that can help you to really do this easier. And the integration that we probably all are aware of that a lot of people are doing right now is Google Analytics for migration. So taking Universal Analytics, porting it over to GA4. And we found the perfect tool to help you with this. And yeah, it is not me alone today. I have a guest. It is Bismayy from Tagmate, who will be joining me today. Hi, Bismayy.
Hey. Hi, Julian.
Great to have you. I'm really excited for you to show us this tool today. Maybe quickly, for those of the audience who don't know you yet, introduce yourself and yeah, let us know how this all came about.
Great. Thanks, really, Julian. Thanks to the audience for joining back in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you have joined the live stream. It's really an honor or an opportunity. Thanks, Julian, for this session. Hope I'm audible to you and at least the audience. Yeah.
Yep.
If I can get the thumbs up. Yeah.
Yeah. All good.
All good. Thanks, Abhi. Awesome. So my name is Bismayy. I work at Tatwik Analytics. It's a Google marketing platform partner agency based out of India. I have been working here I'm a computer science engineer turned product manager, and I currently lead the product development team at Tatwik Analytics, right? And the product's name or the tool's name that Julian was kind of referring to is Tagmate. The logo is at the back, so you can definitely see that in big in the big banner. So we are really excited to bring you this particular product, or we have launched this product quite some time back in the month of October 2021, right? And the great news is we have crossed about 1,000 user base very recently. So that's where we understand that we are solving the pain points of our customers, right? In short, if I may say, what is Tagmate? You guys understand. You guys know that GTM or Google Tag Manager is actually a tagging assistant when you are setting up tags and triggers and variables for your different marketing platforms or Google Analytics platforms or any other third-party platforms, right? So we call Tagmate as a GTM assistant. So anybody who is non-technical in nature, somebody like me who was very literally had very limited knowledge of Google Tag Manager to start with. For me, for people like for product managers, for marketing managers who have to depend on developers for all kind of migrations or website tracking or pixel setups, for them, Tagmate is the product, which is a low-code, no-code SaaS product, where you can remove developer dependency and you can get your tracking requirements, website tracking requirements completed in a flash of a time. So basically your cost goes down, your dependency is reduced, and your accuracy of your tracking is improved. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I think I mean, Tadvik is a very big kind of partner in the space of Google Analytics, and they really helped a lot of clients probably to get analytics installed and saw all of these kind of problems that people had with it. But since even me, when I help out people, I always thought like, oh, from an analytics perspective, Google Tag Manager is a really cool tool because it already abstracts and helps you to do these tracking implementation without code. But it even goes easier if you have such a helper tool that lets you click together stuff where you don't have to navigate through Google Tag Manager itself. And that's something very exciting, and especially when it comes to Google Analytics for migrations. So I'm really excited to showcase this tool to everybody out there as well, and see what it can do.
Great.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
take just a second to share my screen,
Yeah,
and maybe I'll talk a little bit about the itself. I hope it's visible.
yeah,
Julian, could you? Yeah, okay,
yeah.
right.
All good.
Thank you. So, I think we have been discussing about the Tagmate. What we call it, the value proposition is a low code or a no code environment on top of Google Tag Manager, where we are automating your website tracking requirements, right? So, be it Google Analytics, be your marketing pixel setup, let's say for Google Ads, for double click, for Facebook ads, any kind of analytics setup that you want to do, Tagmate is sure serve to that. In this era of no code website developments, no code creative designs, no code uh, 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 no code, lot of development tools that have come up. We thought, why not bring another tool which actually solves the pain point of analytics managers and non-technical people who want to set up tracking for the websites, right? So this is the answer to that, and this is the unique proposition that we kind of wanted to bring it out, where via a UI, how without understanding the without even needing to understand the technicalities of Google Tag Manager per se, like what is the tag that needs to be linked, what is the trigger that needs to be created along with the variable data layer variables, let's say, or GTM built-in variables, how soon we can or how fast we can basically achieve the entire exercise of tracking. That's where we build particular SaaS tool, right? So in short, if I may say, before tag, obviously this is the website, tagmate.app. Anybody and everybody can just go through the website and have a look at it, and for what we are talking about. So before Tagmate, let's say we had a couple of steps where the analytics manager or the product manager or the marketing guy would always go to the developer and say, or a GTM specialist for that matter would go and say, I want to track this particular button on my website or this particular page, and how do I do this? And let's say there is a schema that event schema that needs to be created. There might be the necessity of data layer variables. There would be triggers, then obviously the tags, and then you publish the container, right? At the end of the day, then it goes to Google Analytics, but obviously there is debugging that is needed. There is the cycle goes on, the sprints go on, and there might be a lot of dependency on developers who are already working on more priority, application development or app product development cases, right? Versus when we are talking about after Tagmate, you just have to connect your website. For us, website is basically your Google Tag Manager, right, which is placed on your website. So that's like a prerequisite. We select what is your tracking template. When I say template, this template is predefined in nature. Let's example is, if you have a Shopify website or an WooCommerce powered WordPress website, and you want to set up enhanced e-commerce implementations. Everybody understands it's a very tough job, and you need developers or agencies or freelancers to get this thing done. For them, we have a particular template of e-commerce events, right, from purchases, add to cart, product impressions, clicks, and so on and so forth, right? So the user has to click on that particular template. They have to certain field parameters, basically some values in that UI, and that's it. Tagmate totally takes care of the entire backend functionality, which is setting up whatever is needed within GTM. Basically, the left-hand side of variables, triggers, tags, everything gets auto-created in Google Tag Manager, so that you don't to open up GTM and go back and forth and do that exercise, right? So that's a quick background that I wanted to give, and obviously there are multiple case studies and testimonials that have come up, and we have seen a lot of success stories with our customers. Since we are an agency with about more than 10 years of experience doing analytics implementation, we know if we have to track an event, it can take anywhere between 2 to 3 hours or even more than that. If it's an enhanced e-commerce implementation, right? For GA, for Tagmate, it actually takes less than 5 minutes. Now we can see how much efficiency and cost efficient, both in terms of productivity and cost efficiency, that a product like no code or a low code product can Tagmate bring in for us, right? So, and since these are standardized in nature, for video tracking, there are templates for form submissions, different type of form submissions like WordPress. They can do contract forms or your Ajax forms or thank you page forms. Then there are technology-based templates which can be like internet speed tracking. If you want to track, page views for single page applications. Like there are more than 40 plus templates that we have inserted into the product, which any non-technical guy with a little bit of understanding of what to track and how they can operate Google Tag Manager and do so, right? So you can set it up in a few clicks, and like I said, we are here to bring you more cost efficiency so that you depend less on agencies like us, right? You could get the manual work automated and leave the heavy loading work to agencies like us, where there is more complex implementations. So any standard implementations or little bit of implementations, you could be able to take care of yourself with the product like Tagmate. So we have designed basically for agencies, because agencies have multiple clients, they have multiple use cases, they want to implement Google Ads pixels, they want to automate the process, they are fed up with conversion tracking not being accurate because the pixel setup has been wrong, right? And for them, this is a particular use case that we have. For web developers, obviously, who understand Manager, who know coding, they can do this in like a fraction of a second. For them, it's like a play tool. While for product teams like us, I'll give you definitely a background on how when I started my basically tracking this particular website without the help of a developer, how I could do so with one of our Tagmate Chrome extensions. I'll definitely showcase one in some time. Julian, do you have something?
Yeah, no, I think the use case is pretty clear. So if you are either somebody who doesn't know Google Tag Manager too well, or you know it well, but you know how much work it actually is to put all these triggers and tags and so on in place, and then you do it over and over again for clients, then it can be quite an arduous task. And I guess Tagmate can help us out with this. The thing is that people probably want to see right now is the tool itself and how it looks like from the inside, and if it makes their life easier. So maybe we can look at some use cases here of Google Analytics for migration, for example, and you will show later on as well the extension that you guys have.
Right. Sure. I will do that. Yeah. Great. Let me just switch over to my application then. I hope the screen is still visible to everybody. Yeah. Great. So this is the application that you'll have to obviously add signed in as a end user, right? And being a user, I need to sign in with my account, the Gmail account, which has access to my Google Tag Manager and Google Analytics. That's the only prerequisite. Even if you don't have it, there are other options where you can share this project with somebody who has access to admin access to Google Tag Managers and GA4 and UA and so on and so forth. So at this point in time, what is a soft Tagmate that you can see? This is on the screen. So we do help you with universal analytics implementations from scratch. Obviously, to go away, this was the first thing that we were building our product on last year when GA4 was still in under wraps or in beta. And now that GA4 has come in and everybody is starting to migrate to GA4, and or anybody who is designing a new website or developing it, they have to implement GA4 by default. For them, the second module comes in picture, where for about 40 plus templates, where you can do your GA4 implementation. I will show you in a second very quickly what are the different templates that looks like. So there are like standard templates, like I was saying. There is technology based templates where are 4 error, page load time, internet speed tracking. Under e-commerce, there are like 14 plus standard templates available, along with data layers customized for Shopify, customized for WordPress or JavaScript based websites. Then you'll have video tracking. You can obviously explore video tracking, and then you will see a lot of this different types of players. Like if you have a YouTube video, you can select on. If you have a JW or an HTML5, you can click on this. And then you have page engagement. We could do scroll tracking, reader scanner, and finally the best of best, which is like form submission, because that's where a lot of us who are doing websites, creating website, a contact us form or a lead generation form. So we support about like 5 or 6 of these technologies: default form, Ajax forms, Word forms, thank you page, and so on and so forth. For today's demo, obviously, I wanted to show the migration that we were talking about. So I'll just click on UA GA4 migration for this particular demo, right? So this is the migration dashboard. Please, while it is loading, the reason why there is a slow reload of the page is we do not actually store any of your tags and triggers within the workspace of Tagmate or the database of Tagmate, because it doesn't make any sense, because every time there might be a change in your workspace, it needs to get real-time refreshed onto your dashboard, right? So because and that's where we would go back, we'll ask the tag manager API and get the data at that point in time. So in a way, we want to be privacy safe, or we want to promise a privacy safe environment for you while we are operating on the tags and triggers from your GTM container. You can obviously connect your Google Tag Manager container here, where you can click on add new, and it will basically you can go through that process. I skip for demo. And then the second step is where you have to select the exact container and the workspace which has your universal analytics tags. And now, mind you, all UA tags that you want to migrate into your Google Analytics 4 event tags, all of the tags can be categorized, and those tags will be migrated into that particular workspace or the container, right? So you can choose that particular workspace. I've already done that. And then we go back to the third step, which is where that is called a GA4 config tag, which is at the top of the screen, which you can say, which is the most important tag for your Google Analytics 4 that has to be placed on your website, right? If it is not available, you can create a config tag from here, or because my workspace already had those tags, so it has been listed here, right? And the last, which is why we are having this demo, is quickly migrate or automatically migrate without rethinking whether my migration is as per the best practices of Google Analytics 4 or not. So a lot of people who are well versed with UA, they know that they have event category, event action, and event label as a schema, while in GA4 it is event name and then event parameters, and then there are user properties, right? So we have basically taken care of all the best practices of GA4 naming conventions, parameter limitations, custom dimension migrations. All of these activities have been well taken care of within the product itself, so that you don't have to go back and forth with resources or with your developers or debug them time and again before you can set up to your GA4 property, right? So I'll show a couple in a very quick second. And the reason why we were saying that if somebody has 100 tags, they might take about 2 days, let's say, to migrate each of them, because they have to go copy and paste the configuration from one UA tag to a GA4 event tag, and so on and so forth. But let's see how quickly we can do here in just a click of a button. So these are my two standard tags. Again, this definition of standard or advanced, those are certain definitions that we have categorized the tags that we found in your container. So advanced would be mostly enhanced e-commerce based. Standard will be the simple ones, which are like small event based or page view based tags, and anything that doesn't fall under any of these categories comes under the miscellaneous tags, right? So let me just migrate one of this very quickly. You have to hit a click button of migrate, and it will fetch everything, and the fields would be pre-filled. Like you can see, the tag name has been pre-filled. You have an option to rename it as per your event schema definition that you want, or your tagging definitions or tagging guides that you have. Your configuration tag, you can select it. The event name, which was there in UA, that has been translated into the event. The event basically in UA has been translated into an event name. Obviously, there was no event action or event level because it's a page view type event, right? So you just have to hit migrate. That's the only thing that you had to do. And in a split second, it goes back and forth to your Google Tag Manager workspace, and you can see the migration completely done successfully. If you want to go back and check in your Google Tag Manager, I've just opened it for quick application. Let's see if my migration has happened. There you can see a few seconds ago there was the trigger. It did not need to be changed because it came from a UA tag. The new tag has already been pushed to Google Tag Manager using all the functionalities, so that you don't have to go back and create this. The only thing that now that you have to do is you have to click on submit and publish the container. That's the only activity that you need to do. Now let's see how. Let's take a complex. Let's take an advanced tracking tag, which is basically where enhanced e-commerce implementations, right? Let's see how fast we can do that as well. So let's take an example for, let's say, add to cart event. I'll hit on migrate again. So for people who already know, they understand that UA e-commerce schema was related to product, while the schema of GA4 is basically related to items. So the functionality of converting from a product object to an item object has also been taken care by the by Tagmate, so you don't have to worry about that. Now you can see the tag name has been so everything has been pre-filled. But there's an interesting thing, because this add to cart event in UA had certain custom dimensions attached to it. So there is an option that you can see which says that this tag has custom dimensions. So you can provide your access to UA so that we can, basically redefine and push them directly to GA4. Otherwise, it will show something like 1_dimension, 2_dimension, which are like by default names that have been pushed, right? Versus the other names that are there. And obviously, like you can see if there is a dynamic value that gets also converted into the best practice of GA4 and gets migrated as well. So let's just add my GA account. Obviously, account is already added, so it will fetch my accounts, and I will have to just select the particular analytics count and my property. It will fetch the dimensions, and let's see if magic has happened or not. Wow, this is what it has happened. Now you can see previously it was written dimension_1. Now it has converted the name of, or it has basically tracked the name of your custom dimension 1, and it has replaced it. Now within GA4, you will get an event parameter with the name price and product ID and product variant. And similarly, there is a user property, which was a custom dimension with user scope, and that has also been taken care of under user properties. So that's how simple it is. You just have to click on now migrate, and that's it. That's how simple it is. You just takes a split second, and you have already migrated the tag. And then the logs, you can obviously check your logs or your dashboard to know how many tags are pending to be migrated, and so on and so forth, right? So that's how simplified that we have done this entire exercise of migration, so that if somebody has to do even 100 tags migration, they should be able to do it in less than an hour. Just go click, find out the list, click on migrate, and be done with it, right?
Cool.
Yeah,
All right.
Julian.
Bismayy, I have a few questions. There are some people in the chat already asking. So first of all, great product. I think it hits some of the use cases on the head when you have a lot of tags, for example, or you don't know what you're doing. The tool can really help you out there. One particular question was, well, there's questions about the cost, but we'll get to that later, I think. How will you handle the translation between category, action, and label, which we had in Universal Analytics, into GA4 parameters? Do you have any kind of special methodology, or is this just event category, action, and label and then the parameters of GA4?
So like it has been kind of laid out in GA4 handbook. So we have replaced or converted the event category into the event name, and event
Okay.
action and level goes into event parameter 1 and event parameter 2. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that is something you can do, as well as well, let me see. Does it publish my container actually when you click on migrate?
At this point in time, obviously, we have not given the functionality of directly publishing the container, because there would be a reviewer or a GTM reviewer or somebody who's a very specialist in your business or in your agencies would want to do a quick background, would want to do a quick review before publishing the container. So we have kept it hidden, that functionality, but that is something that we can unhide for our users if there is a lot of requirements coming in.
Yeah. I think also it is a best practice not to have a third-party tool publish your container. The other part then is, when you do these changes inside of Google Tag Manager, is it then in your default workspace where you make these changes, or do you open up a new workspace every time you do changes?
So there are multiple options. Either so here you can select your existing workspaces, or you can create a new workspace as well. So we have handled that quite nicely, so that if you want to send it to a new workspace, you can do that as well. Otherwise, you can migrate the existing workspace. Yeah.
I like how it kind of models the interface of Google Tag Manager, so something that you already used to. But the font, as somebody noticed here, the font, it looks a bit like Facebook Ads Manager, right? Like the.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I just think that also the blue is kind of like Facebook ads. But anyways, this is just an observation here. Cool. All right. So I understand. So this is kind of the tool that we will use to migrate tags from Google Tag Manager. But what if we wanted to set up new kind of tags, triggers, and variables, right? I believe you also have a solution there for the people who are not very savvy in going into Google Tag Manager and setting up all these triggers and so on from scratch, because you really need to know what you are doing, as my videos sometimes show you. But you also have a solution for that.
Right. Yeah. So that's what. The tool that we were currently, talking about. This is obviously the migration tool. While the templates that we were showing, there was a mixture of a little bit of technicality. Obviously, we have the guides available where the user maybe need to just select, click on inspect element, and find out some part of that class name and add it in the user field. So there is a little bit of technicality in that Tagmate application that I was showcasing you. But let's jump quickly to the Chrome extension, which is actually a no-code tool where if there is not a complex implementation and any type of custom events in GA4, because I think we know that there are like standard events which goes automatically and automatically collected events, and then there are obviously enhanced measurement events that are available in GA4, which you can just toggle on and off within their property settings. And then there is the custom events, right? So let's take that example of a custom event. So custom event can be which is there on your website for, let's say, which you have placed on your website, let's say just for doing an A/B testing, or there is a landing page that has come up. Like I may want to track how many people click on the navigation menu of this navigation menu of this website, or how many people are clicking on shop now, or how many people are clicking on this particular card or this particular section, because this is a promotion section for my website. Now this is a test website, and I'm going to show in a very quick, again, 2 minutes 5 minutes demo, how one could actually track that particular button or a form submission. It can be a link click, it can be even a custom event, like I'll showcase you very real quick, right? So there is a Chrome extension that is available on the Chrome store, which you can find out. There's a link as well within the product itself. So I created my project. Project is basically the website. So tagmatedemo.site, it is the website name. So that is basically the project. And I have already connected my Google Tag Manager account, right? And I've also connected my GA4 account. So this connection is one step of the exercise that I've already done. Obviously, for anybody who will be new, they will go through that process once, right? And once it is done, this is the screen that you will see, and you just have to click on Add Event. And these are the multiple types of events types that you can track, which are custom in nature, and which we call it as custom events in GA4. So there is a click event, which is like a CTA clicks that you want to track. There is internal link clicks. There is element visibility, which is mostly used for promotions or impressions based tracking. Then there is page view, which is for single page applications. And one more is a custom event. This is interesting. This is something that we have come up very recently, and it's a feature which is available only with us at this point in time, where if there is an event which already has certain data layers implemented, like I want to track login functionalities when somebody clicks on login button, and I want also the value of the user ID to be collected from the data layer, right? Which the developer has already, developed and added it to a website. For them, custom event comes into picture, right? So for today's demo, obviously, I'll go through first a simple one, which is a click event. So I'll click on click event. And now you can see certain magic happening, which is basically a selector that you can see, which is running across the page and going across the elements of whether it's a button, whether it's a logo, whether it's a card, and or you can basically go through all this. If there is a section, anything that is there is a new interaction, a custom user interaction available on that is possible via the selector, which is a very powerful selector which runs across different types of websites, again, like WordPress, Shopify, Magento, or normal JavaScript websites, anything of that sort. We have basically tested it on until now. I think we have tested it on hundreds of websites, different types of frameworks as well. So let me click on shop now, because that's what I wanted to track. So I click on shop now. Now you can see there is basically a selector that has auto-defined or auto-identified the unique class or unique element that is available on your website. So anytime somebody clicks on shop now, this selector will trigger or will basically send the data to GA4. Now the next step is to select whether it is available on all the pages or on the current page. Obviously, it is there on my current page. So I confirm and save it. I have an option whether I want to send it to UA or GA4. Obviously, my GA4 is connected. So I'll click on add. And like I was telling, there is the configuration tag, which is the most important one. So I'll have to kind of choose that particular config tag where which powers this workspace of the Google Tag Manager, and I do continue. So this is my third screen, which is the last screen for my select, basically automatic or no code implementation. So if we have an event schema, I can use that event schema, predefined event schema, to add in the fields. For the time being, I will do shop now underscore CTA, right, as the event name. And let's say I want to track the click URL as my event parameter. So if somebody clicks on shop now, click action button, the I want also to pass the URL of the shop now as a value to that. And since it can be a dynamic value, I can just click like this, and you can see all the defined built-in variables and data layer variables that might have been implemented in your Google Tag Manager container will be available to you for your access, right? So I'll just do click URL, and let's say I also want to track click text, so I click on this. And you can also send in manual or static values, right? So I want to send shop now as a static value for click text whenever this particular event is created. And as a user property, I want to send the user ID, and let's consider that this is already a login user. So again, I would have to select the data layer variable, and let's see if I have a data layer variable for my user ID. There you go, DLV underscore user ID. So every time the user ID or basically the shop now CTA is clicked, the user ID value would be dynamically added based on the cookie user value that has been merged. You just have to save the event. Now when I say save the event, that event just gets saved within Tagmate, right? It has still not been pushed to your GTM or your GA4. So you can switch tabs and you find it out here that it has been created. Now the next option or the last option is to go back and go for push to GTM. We have an edit functionality that is going to come up, or you can push to GTM or delete it. So let me push to GTM, and just fingers crossed so that it goes in a smooth process. There you go. The event has been pushed to GTM successfully, and you can go to the new tab and you can see that it has been pushed to GTM. Now, Julian, would you want me to go back and show how actually the data is flowing into GA4?
Well, I think just some clarifying questions before we actually look at this.
Yeah, sure.
It's really interesting that you do this all inside of the browser, so the user doesn't have to look into Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager in that sense. So this is really cool to see. One questions we had from the audience here is, can I use the Chrome extension without an account to Tagmate, or do you need to have an account for Tagmate? Is the functionality available for free, so to say, when you don't use Tagmate as an account?
Okay, so obviously Tagmate is an umbrella product, right? So Chrome extension is a part of that, but we also offer Chrome extension based modules separately. So if somebody wants to kind of take only the Chrome extension, they can also reach out to us, and we would be happy to help them there.
And currently, does it work with Google Analytics, Google Analytics 4, or also other tag templates that like the Facebook tag template or any other tools that you might want to install from the click of a button, for example?
So for the Chrome extension currently supports only custom events implementation for UA and GA4,
Okay.
right? While the application that I was talking about,
Can do more.
application which has the GA4 implement, that supports obviously the templates, while there is marketing pixel setup for Google Ads and Facebook Ads marketing pixel setups. Again, these are two client-side implementations at this point in time. So if somebody wants to place the pixels without the help of a developer, and they have a connection to their Facebook account or their Google Ads account, they can do it in a very quick time using Tagmate. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, then let's take a look. So you have set it up inside of the extension and pushed it over to Google Tag Manager or to Google Analytics. Then does it actually show up in Google Analytics 4?
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just quickly move that. I'll have to select a particular workspace. Obviously I've remembered it, so that's fine where it is. So let me just see if the tag has been pre-filled here. Great. You can see 3 minutes ago the tag has been created, right? And you can click on this trigger. You will see the element, the page path. I didn't have to do any of these activities, obviously, within Google Tag Manager, right? In GA4, obviously, as a tag, you can see the name, the parameters, the user properties, everything has been taken care of. Now, since we wanted to see whether this data is flowing into Google Analytics or not, we'll have to go obviously via the preview mode because it's so that we can do it as a debug mode so that we can see it in real time. So I'll just click on preview. Again, this is we are going in within Tagmate itself so that you don't have to go back to Google Tag Manager even to do that. Just I'll select this particular website and I will connect this, and just let's wait for a second while it connects. So it is basically opening a test version or a debug version of my website so that I can see the data flowing into my Google Analytics directly, right? Let's just wait for a second while it connects.
Yeah, it's probably because we are streaming at the same time. It takes a while to.
Right.
There we go.
Okay. Oh,
no.
Timeout.
Timed out.
Okay.
That's the beauty of live demos sometimes.
It has to go wrong.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is done now. My GA has been connected, the debug version, right? So if you remember, I as a product manager or a marketing manager, I wanted to track how many people have clicked on Shop Now. So I'll just click on Shop Now, right? Obviously, there is no page that is getting redirected. It's a demo website. So I'll go back here, and you can see within click, there is this tag that has been successfully submitted, right? Without wasting any time, let's move to GA. This is my GA4, obviously, right? I'll just reload it.
Yeah, everybody knows that GA4 is sometimes a little bit slower than anybody wants it to be.
I hope I have used the right website. I'll be testing.
And on the top, under debug devices, did you have your right device there? Oh, no, there's 0 devices, so maybe it's not connected. Okay, I guess it's a bit of a technical thing.
Yeah.
But normally it would work. I would trust that it would work. Yeah.
Yeah, let me just try once more if it is.
Yeah, sure.
There.
So this is pretty exciting. I think it takes some of the functionality that maybe Google Tag Manager should have built in, but obviously they're also catering to a very big denominator of marketers out there. And you have built some functionality on top of that, so you can do it exactly in the browser itself, which is quite handy, I think, from there as well. So that's really cool to see. and yeah,
Yeah,
I mean it transfers the
within
data. Yeah,
yeah, within GTM, these are the data that is getting captured in your Google Analytics. Like the user ID has been dynamically placed. This is the value that went in. Obviously, there was no value for the click URL, so it didn't go out. But the click text, if you remember, I was passing the static text, so shop now. So these are the values that will go into the event name, the parameters, and the user properties into your GA4
right.
device.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Interesting. So let's go a little bit and answer some questions that came up in the chat as well. What is maybe
Like,
some what is up for the future? Maybe let us know what we can expect from Tagmate. I guess you guys are, as you said, going with the times. When there's GA4 coming along, the use case maybe change a bit more to migrations and so on. So what can we expect in the future from Tagmate?
right. Yeah, so I think we are really invested into this product. It's a white space, like I was talking about. There's so many tools to do website developments, like obviously Wix and Webflow and sort of other tools that have come up. So for this, for us, it was the vision was to build a low code analytics tagging tool and slowly move up the ladder in terms of marketing platforms. So we are going to support more and more marketing platforms. Apart from, obviously, we have Facebook and Google at this point in time, but then there are Snapchat, TikTok, or the automation platforms like HubSpot and other integrations that are also going to feature in short while. But the primary use case that or feature that we are currently working on is to support agencies or businesses to share accesses within their organizations, because they have multiple projects, multiple clients, and there is a lot of complexities in terms of accesses that is needed. Somebody would have access to GTM but no access to GA4 and so on and so forth. So we are trying to solve that via an user management module, which is one feature that we are taking up and that we have taken up and we're building it. And one important other important feature that we are really investing in is the server side implementation, because everybody knows in short while, maybe in a year or so, Facebook might stop the Facebook pixel implementation from client side and move to Facebook conversion API implementation, which they're promoting quite heavily. So we are building that Facebook conversion API implementation server side into Tagmate itself. And then
Interesting.
there are just both lots of features. The roadmap is quite long. Like I said, we are really invested. The team is quite dedicated and working in line with this the vision that we have to build it, not just a GTM tagging assistant, but maybe a universal tagging assistant for multiple set of platforms, so that non-technical users can also have more democracy in setting up tracking for their websites or platforms, automation platforms, and not worry about going wrong or something like that. Yeah, the other important thing that we are coming up is obviously the monitoring feature, which is basically
Okay.
24 by 7. We will be monitoring your tags, so that if there is an error, you get a click off on your email that your tag has duplicate fired, or there are, there is a value missing from the trigger, and so on and so forth. So that is something that we are
Cool.
also working in that. Yeah.
All right, then let's talk about the all-encompassing question that was asked here a few times: is how much does it cost? One other person asked about, like, is this for agencies? How many seats will I get when I use this tool? So maybe we can talk a little bit about the plans and the pricing that you guys have on the
Okay.
tool itself.
Yeah, so obviously on tagmate.app there is a pricing model. We can go there, but the best part is, for today's live stream attendees, we had a discounted, or we can say limited time offer pricing that we have. These are like the starter plan, the growth plan, and the agency plan, where agency plan has up to 20 websites or projects, while the growth plan has 5 websites and starter plan has 1 website. So that is the only denomination that we have kept, while everything else we have basically made it unlimited, because we didn't want to stop the end user from getting the benefit of tracking the website in full, right? If there is a requirement of more websites than 20 or 50 or 100, please reach out to us. There is an enterprise plan as well, which we can set it up with you while you talk to our sales team, right? So these are the list of features that we have, and this is the pricing module. Do have a look at this, and you can the best part is you can start for free. There's a 14-day trial, and as the offer will end someday on 30th September of the next month. So
Yeah.
don't wait for it. Go for a free trial and get started the product. And yes, provide genuine feedback, honest feedback to us as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always the most important part for product teams, I would say. A question there is like, so you connect one Google Tag Manager account to to Tagmate. That is then seen as one account, and is that one project, or is it then really just one container per website? In the growth plan, I have 5 websites or projects, right? So what does this actually mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not to really confuse people, for us, websites are basically, since it's recommended that there is one container per one website. If we talk in the GTM language, it's basically one container equals to one website,
Right.
and that's how the plan has been kind of set up. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. All right. That's a very generous offer, and I think everybody should check it out. Especially also, I mean, I have been creating these tracking deployments as videos, and that's basically what Tagmate does, but you don't have to go through the videos, and you don't have to try to replicate my implementation. You have tracking templates there that people can just click, and then they can get it set up. So that's obviously a huge help away from trying to figure everything out yourself, or with the video of the hub for the videos. So we have a special offer here. So go over to tagmate.app/MeasureSchool -livestream, and then you can get part of this offer. Obviously, the real prices are a little bit different. So check that out. You have a cool discount there as well. And I think this will be a great way to get started if you haven't yet. Or if you are working with a lot of Google Tag Manager clients and want to get up tracking fast. Especially, I think it's also interesting for any agency or somebody who's a freelancer who hasn't yet dove into, hey, should I help my client to move over to GA4? Now is the time anyways to start suggesting that to clients, and Tagmate can help you out when it comes to doing this for multiple clients, definitely. So I think it's a very valuable tool for everybody out there who's doing these migrations. All right, let me just check out the chat again if we had any more questions. Tagmate is also in the chat, so you can ask them. There's some troubleshooting from what we had before, but I think we can skip that now. And I think, the questions were all answered. Thank you so much, Bismayy, for being here. What is, maybe apart from Tagmate, obviously the special offer that you can still take part of, what a part of that would you like people to check out? Is there anything that you're looking forward in the world of analytics? And maybe share away if you have anything else to share.
Right. I think I have been in this space for about 6 or 7 years now, and I find it really, I would say previously it was all universal analytics implementations that we used to do, and suddenly Google dropped the bomb, and everybody has to migrate before this particular deadline, right? So it's going to be ever changing, right? And while we have built this product to solve one of those use cases of implementations, so that agencies and business owners, small and medium enterprises, they can as well do their tagging very fast and less cost involved. If if they can do that quite fast. Like the product's USP or the product value proposition, right? Saying there's a lot of things that are going to change, and it's so much dynamic. There is third-party cookies going away. The ad tech and the martech space is going to change a lot of changes there. We hope to be there at the core of it, and we want to we basically want to make good advancements in the product so that we can solve our customers' pain points, be it even a freelancer or people who are really just trying to educate versus somebody like an enterprise organization who have multiple team to set up their website implementations.
Yeah, and I think you're well on the way there with the advancements that you have already made inside of Tagmate, and looking at the use cases also dynamically as new things come up. And that's why we're all in the field of analytics. It's still quite exciting to see the developments here. And I want to congratulate you for the product. And everybody, you can check it out at tagmate.app/MeasureSchool livestream, MeasureSchool minus livestream or dash livestream. And there's a special offer for you, so don't miss out on that one. I want to thank Bismayy for coming on and explaining us the product and showing us around. This was a great thank you to you and the team for making this product. And I hope to see more from you in the future as well when there are new product updates coming out on Tagmate. I think it's under heavy development, as is Google Analytics 4. Right.
Yeah. Thanks a lot again, Julian. I think it's an honor. Sorry. Thanks a lot.
Go ahead.
Am I audible still?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. There was a certain lag. Yeah. Thank you, Julian. I think it's an opportunity for somebody like have hosting with you, who is a digital evangelist and an expert in this area for quite so long. Yeah, thank you again, and thank you to the audience for wonderful.
Yeah, thank you for everybody who has been coming on. This was again a new live stream of MeasureSchool. If you want to check out more videos of ours, then you find them probably over there. And we'll see you in the next live stream. Thank you everybody for coming on. And till next time.